The Lowcountry's news leader starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news coming to us right now over the Don Holt Bridge, where that tarp, that netting that was above the bridge because of construction has fallen down. You see these pictures right here. Again, this is 526, both westbound and eastbound lanes. So if you're headed to West Ashley or Mount Pleasant, this netting has fallen down on all those lanes. I believe there's 6 lanes at the top of the bridge right there. That is the Don Holt Bridge. That netting, that tarp used for construction purposes. If you've been under the bridge, in the past few weeks, it's been up there. We know obviously stormy weather there. Our chief meteorologist Bill Walsh tells us there's been 60-mile-per-hour winds in that area. Cameras in the area, Department of Transportation cameras in the area, they've since been taken off, but we did have the chance to snap several pictures of that tarp in the area. And according to scanner traffic, there's several cars, including a semi, underneath that tarp in the area. Fire trucks there on the scene as well. They say that they're working to cut those cars, that semi, out from underneath that tarp. Of course, we'll continue to follow this breaking news on the Don Holt Bridge after that tarp, that netting has fallen onto cars in that area.
And to continue with the first alert traffic here, and you can also see how the weather is playing a big role. We're seeing some ponding, some slick roads, and again, those heavy winds, as Lisa mentioned. So be very careful out on the roadways. Give yourself plenty of time and avoid at this point I-526 altogether, because what was down to 10 miles per hour is pretty much a standstill. No one is moving on 526 due to these tarps now. But we also before had a right lane closed due to an accident near the Clements Ferry Road exit, and that was backing things up since about 3:30 this afternoon. And this is not going to help. On top of it, of course, those down tarps. Then we have an accident on Clements Ferry Road between Monica Lane and Green Ann Court. So if you were going to be getting off on that exit, then we have another accident. This is on Cainhoy Road at Clements Ferry Road. So Clements Ferry Road, very active. We have some live pictures of the tarp here right now that we're going to get to really quickly for you. You can see that the emergency crews are there, and yes, there are cars underneath that tarp. They're trying to get to those people because it fell as they're driving. North Charleston police say that traffic is a standstill both ways. So avoid I-526. Of course, we'll continue with this broadcast, give you the latest information. Go to our website as well, and you can also check out our Facebook and Twitter pages, and we will continue to update you there as well. But we also are seeing big backups across the Lowcountry due to this weather. We also have a stalled vehicle, I-26 westbound at the Ashley Phosphate Road exit, which is exit 209. So let's get to those drive times really quickly, just so you know what you're up against. So here's a look at I-526. Again, avoid it, but here's a look at the drive times right now. So if you know someone who's going to be in that traffic, you can kind of give them an update here. 97 minutes to get from Mount Pleasant to West Ashley, 71 minutes in that opposite direction, and it'll probably take longer than that now that everything is completely stopped. I-26 drive times under an hour, just under, to get from downtown to Somerville, I-26 westbound. Eastbound, just about 33 minutes. And here is a look at Highway 17, where we were telling people take that route instead to get to I-26, but now that's a big backup because more people are taking it. So 87 minutes Mount Pleasant to West Ashley and just about an hour West Ashley to Mount Pleasant. Of course, we'll continue to track this for you, give you the first alert to any updates, but for now I think we're going to get a check of that crazy weather, Bill.
All right, Jordan, we'll continue to watch that big problem out there on 526. You got to wonder how many cars were under that thing when it came down on both sides, because it's always stop and go. We're watching that, and we're going to let you know right here first. All right, live showers, thunderstorms continue to move through the area. We had a couple of boundaries intersecting. We've got plenty of moisture. A lot of people are asking, is there a tornado? No, but we do have gusty winds with these, 40, 50. We had a couple of reports. In fact, at the Weather Service reporting 38, 39 mile an hour winds at the airport. This is the warning area until 6 o'clock tonight. Severe thunderstorm warning for Berkeley and Charleston County. A lot of hail calls. Thank you for the hail calls. Let me show you what the hail looks like by First Alert Super Doppler standards. Look at this. This is 2-inch hail right here. These little areas of purple and pink. That is strong and very big hail, and that goes all the way up toward Ladson, Goose Creek, North Charleston. We're getting a lot of hail reports up 52 as you make your way on up toward Monk's Corner, 1.6 up that way. So again, these areas, the largest hail producers, but again, even smaller hail, some pea-sized hail associated with these storms. We're continuing to track that, and we'll let you know certainly first. And again, here's the current live radar out of North Charleston, up toward Rivers Avenue, back toward West Ashley. But I want to give you our exclusive Live 5 3D look at the storm because it shows you the vertical motion of the storm. And when you have that kind of updraft with cold air aloft, that creates the hail, and that's why we've had also the gusty winds. This was 60,000 feet. So notice, see this kind of collapsing a little bit? So some of these are weakening, but again, they're still very strong. This is a 50,000 foot top. Let's go ahead and take this and spin it around a little bit. And again, you can see a little bit of a collapse on the back end of the storm, but still we're looking at some pretty good inflow, and we're looking at about a 50,000 foot top right there. Again, it's come down from 60, but that's still a big storm. Anything around 35, 40,000 feet is a strong thunderstorm. These have some strong updrafts, and when you have that kind of updraft, you get the lift, and that's why you have what we have with the hail reports, because that warm air is being lifted and being pulled right up into the atmosphere like that. When that air is pulled up that high, it's very cold up here. We're talking about well below zero, and that creates hail, and that's why it rushes down, and that's why it comes down is in the form of gusty winds. We have what we call micro and macro bursts, as well as that air rushes down. So as you watch the storm itself, it will continue to collapse over the next couple of hours, but there's still moderate to heavy rain with that. And again, as we take you right down to the street level, Mount Holly back over to Goose Creek, moderate to pretty much a lot of showers up that way. We're continuing to kind of track those. Also, I'll zoom out here just a little bit. The storms over the lakes have diminished a little bit. Bono right now up towards St. Stephen, starting to see some of those diminish. But you folks up toward Andrews, we are watching you because of that storm that we just talked about a little while ago. That one has some moderate to heavy rain and some lightning. So let me take you right back over here toward Georgetown County. Here's Georgetown way over that way. Here's Andrews still looking at moderate to heavy rain. So again, that extends from Williamsburg and Georgetown County south down into Berkeley County. So we'll continue to track that. Also, lightning has diminished in the metro area. That's certainly good news. Let me zoom out here just a little bit, because what we have and what we're watching is a couple of things. We have what's called a sea breeze that comes in off the ocean, and boy, you can just see it, lined up right there along the sea breeze, because cool air comes in off the ocean. As we pull this out like that, I'll kind of show you what the effect is on this. And again, as you watch, you've got cool air coming in off the ocean, and that comes in just like that toward the sea breeze, creates a sea breeze, creates a boundary back here, and that's why we're seeing these big showers and thunderstorms develop. So again, as we zoom on in here just a little bit, still moderate to heavy rainfall. And again, looking at the rotation, we're not seeing much rotation with these right now, thankfully. Mostly it's downdrafts and hail. Here's a live picture right now as you take a look at the Laffey and the Yorktown, and a temperature of 71. So that temperature certainly has come down. But what we're watching though are the winds, right? Look at that wind, 24 miles an hour. All right, more coming up right here live in just a few minutes. We also have breaking traffic news with the big net that's fallen from the Don Holt Bridge. Let's get more on that. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Bill, we've been calling it a net or a tarp of some kind, and this is a great picture you see on your scene from both sides of that Don Holt Bridge structure right now. Let's evaluate. Let's show you what we do know right now. That net seems to have come down. How serious is that? It may not be so serious because that netting or tarp, it doesn't seem to be very weighty, but we don't know if the cars have collided with each other underneath the netting. We don't know the conditions of the people who are in those cars, if there were wrecks. So emergency crews, you see them there, they are on the scene, and I'm sure they're going through evaluating the people in the cars, making sure that everyone is safe. The next step, of course, would be to get that netting out of the way. I believe it's of a material where they might be able to just cut it and remove it. And if so, that shouldn't take a very long time, one would think, and you could be about your way. But of course, this being a structure like this, it would need to be inspected, one would guess, just guessing here, to make sure that it was safe for traffic to continue going.
It's really interesting, Raphael, because this morning I was driving over the bridge myself coming to work, and I was thinking, I saw sanding on the side, and I was wondering what the tarping was up there for. It's been there for a few days, and it appeared that maybe the bridge is being repainted. You know, they have to inspect and repair the bridge periodically to make sure it's safe. But as you're looking there, you can see that one side is still fairly attached on the side, and another angle that we're seeing here in the studio shows a lot of the cars approaching in that direction are trying to move into that lane so they could squeeze through under the section that was still up there attached. But it's really interesting that this happened. Obviously, the wind's gusting there, and it's even windier when you're at the top of the bridge. And We are following this to keep you posted on when the traffic will be moving, but so far we haven't seen any sign of any efforts to try to move the tarp at this point.
And these cars here at the top right, you have to wonder, you know, what they were thinking as that thing started to come down and they're having to turn and maybe get out of the way of what's going on and brake for the cars that are in front of them. We're going to continue to follow exactly what's going on and let you know. If you have contact with somebody who's up there on the bridge and stuck, they're not going anywhere for a while, if they are okay, if they can do so safely, have them reach out to us. They can contact us on our Live 5 Facebook page. They can tweet at us. I'm Roth James at Twitter and on Facebook and social media. Have them get at us. We'd love to hear what they're seeing and what's going on. We'll be right back after this. All right, taking you back to our breaking news on the Don Holt Bridge there, a piece of netting or something that is covering that whole bridge area has come down on some vehicles. It's wiring, I understand. They were doing some work there to the bridge. That's a better vantage point from what you can see there. It's covering both sides of the expressway there. Traffic not being able to move right now as emergency crews work to see exactly what's going on. Things are going to be slow. Those cars are stuck. They aren't moving anywhere in either direction. We want to go over to Jordan Wilkerson to kind of let us know what you can expect for a drive time, or if you have someone stuck in that traffic, what things are looking like for them. Jordan?
Yeah, avoid I-526 altogether pretty much at this point. Like Raphael said, everything is completely stopped. You are unable to drive on I-526 right now. So just avoid that area completely. Earlier, we did see an accident near Clements Ferry Road that caused a backup since about 3:30 this afternoon. And then now with this tarp falling, it's really created a big mess out there. And of course, you saw some of that tarp on cars at this point. Notice the colors here we're seeing. Well, the blue and the green you see off in the background, not on the major intersection here, that is ponding on the road. So we're still seeing the slick conditions and of course windy conditions, which helped to bring that tarp down, unfortunately. Notice this area here in purple. This is where the tarp has fallen. Speeds 0, and pretty much all of I-526, the speeds right now are 0 miles per hour. Nobody is able to drive due to this tarp that is still down. And of course, with this weather, how it is right now, it's going to probably take them a while to be able to fix this. So if you know someone who would normally take this commute, tell them to avoid this area, give them a call, a quick phone call, let them know what's going on. And or if you have someone in this traffic that you know of, kind of let them know what we're telling you right now if they're not able to watch us. Although we do have the app, so you can stream the show from that. Notice how big this backup is. All of I-526, again, a complete standstill. There is also an accident on Clements Ferry Road between Monica Lane and Green Ann Court. And as we move a little bit closer towards Cainhoy Road at Clements Ferry Road, we're seeing an accident. So on top of what we're seeing with 526, there is a lot of activity going out there and a stalled vehicle on I-26 westbound at Ashley Phosphate Road. Now let's get to those drive times really quickly. I-526, we are seeing backup in both directions. So from the Clements Ferry Road accident earlier this evening or this afternoon, we saw wait times of about 120 minutes almost, about a 2-hour wait. Now it has gone down, but since the tarp has just fallen, I guarantee these numbers are going to climb because nobody can move right now. So we were seeing about 80 minutes to get from West Ashley to Mount Pleasant, 66 minutes Mount Pleasant to West Ashley, but you can't really take these into consideration right now since you cannot drive on 526. So keep that in mind. Here's a look at I-26 drive times. A lot of people trying to take 17 to get to 26 instead of 526 to I-26, and 70 minutes to get from downtown to Somerville, 37 minutes Somerville to downtown, and I mentioned Highway 17, so let's look at those drive times. And with more people taking that route, it's really slowing things down there as well. So just keep that in mind. Give yourself a little extra time and be aware that you are going to be dealing with some sort of traffic tonight. 80 minutes to get from West Ashley to Mount Pleasant, 103 to get from Mount Pleasant to West Ashley. We'll continue to track this all evening long, give you the first alert to any updates here on the actual broadcast, but also online and on our social media platforms. So don't forget to check that out as well. There's a live look at the Don Holt Bridge right now where we are seeing that tarp that has dropped down onto traffic, which is stopping traffic both directions of 526 eastbound and westbound at a complete standstill. You can see emergency crews are on the scene to try and get this fixed and of course get those cars out from under underneath. However, with this weather, expect delays to last quite a while. We don't have word on just how long they expect this to take, but of course, Raphael and Lisa, I expect this to take quite some time. Lisa?
Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, it's actually not just netting, not just this tarp. From what we understand, it's also some pretty heavy cables that have fallen as well. And we take that because emergency crews, they're asking fire crews who are responding for knives or bolt cutters to help cut through this netting, as well as this cable that has fallen onto those cars and at least one semi below. As for any injuries at this point in time, we don't yet know, because according to that scanner traffic, so crews talking to one another up on the Don Holt Bridge, that they have yet to reach any of those cars, nor that semi that is currently underneath that netting that has fallen there on the Don Holt Bridge. Of course, we'll continue to follow exactly what's happening here. These are live pictures from the Department of Transportation. You see they have cameras stationed high up on the bridge, so it's really giving us an eagle-eye view of what's happening. But as Jordan has been saying, definitely steer clear of the area, because all lanes, all 6 lanes, both east and westbound, currently closed off because of that downed tarp high above the Don Holt Bridge. We'll have continuing coverage on this coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, traffic all over the Low Country is tied up right now, quite frankly, because of an incident here on the 526 Don Holt Bridge. Some netting, some wiring has fallen down across all lanes of traffic on the bridge, east and westbound, and there are cars underneath it, and rescue crews are trying to find a way to get this netting off of there and figure out what's going on with these cars, and if there are any injuries up under there, and get traffic moving again. Our Kobe Satterfield is live right now on the way to get a better vantage point. Kobe, what can you tell us?
Raphael, as Jordan has been saying, the traffic is a nightmare. I'm going to actually flip it around. Now, we did not take 526. Right now we're on Ashley River Road because the line of cars to get on I-526 was potentially the longest that I have seen. And as Jordan's been saying in our first alert traffic, that the traffic is essentially stopped as you get to the Don Holt Bridge. So no one's coming or going. So we're really already seeing kind of the snowball effects of that. But again, I can try and see exactly what's happening on top of the Don Holt Bridge. Raphael, I know we've been looking at the pictures that people have been tweeting at us, and pictures that we've been able to get from the cameras of that netting and wiring falling down on top of the bridge. I'm going to try and get to a point in North Charleston where I can actually see up there, so we can get a better idea of what's happening as emergency responders work to try and get to those cars. So I'll be checking in with you guys, letting you know what the traffic is like to get there, and I'll show you what I'm seeing as soon as I get to Riverfront Park. But for now, I'm live on the road in West Ashley. Colby Satterfield, Live 5 News.
That's right, 526. Not great tonight, and the rain isn't helping us, but luckily that severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped, expired here, but now it's actually replaced with the flood advisory until 6:45. So we're seeing a decent amount of rainfall here with what's left over with the thunderstorms. Also out into the ocean, we do have the marine warning off into the harbor as well. Plus, it's right about high tide, so we're seeing that heavy rain pushing at high tide right now. Not great news. We really could see some localized flooding, especially downtown, so watch out for that. And you can see our line of storm stretching all the way up from Georgetown along the coast to Beaufort. But luckily, bright side, this is moving closer to the ocean. So maybe just an hour or two left of this system before it really pulls off into the coast. We'll definitely give you the first alert. But so far, we've seen quite a bit of hail with this storm system. Check out some hail in North Charleston. Seen many reports close to 2-inch hail, actually. Also towards Ravenel, above an inch, and even Goose Creek closer to 2 inches. So definitely seeing hail. If you're inside, or if you know someone inside in Berkeley or even Charleston County where the storms are, tell them to head inside. Get inside here. You can see we're continuing to see what we call hail course. That's the pink purple color here close to Allendale right now. So we're continuing to track that hail and also lightning. And these storms have quite a bit of height. Luckily, we're seeing some improvement. They're dying down, but they're moving closer to the coast here, slowly pushing off into the ocean. The next few hours, as you can see, like we said, they will eventually move off the coast here. This is around 7 p.m. All of that intensity that you're seeing right now will move off into the coast here, some leftover showers for a few hours, and then by 9, 10, 11 p.m. we should really dry out here. Maybe a leftover coastal shower, but not much left. Definitely into tomorrow morning, Thursday, looking great. Some sunshine for the start of your day, but that heat is really kicking up. Now that we're getting rid of those shower chances slowly through the end of the week, we're really starting to see the heat pick up. Opposite of heat, that's the shower activity right outside. We've been watching these cameras, just watching the storms roll across the low country here. 71 degrees, so those temperatures are dropping. But look at the wind. We've seen some very strong gusty winds through the afternoon with these storms. Right now, northeasterly wind 24 miles per hour, and with the hail, just not great conditions to be outside. And so head indoors if you're not already there. 79 in Somerville. We've seen showers move through there. Still 88 in North Charleston, so I'm sure these temperatures will drop once they see all of that activity push on through. 87 in Moncks Corner, 76 after those afternoon storms in Orangeburg. So quite a difference here. That's what a storm can make. You can see for the next few hours, we're still hanging on to those storm and shower chances. By 7, 85 degrees, temperatures into the upper 70s by 10 p.m. But really the main issue for the afternoon and evening, if you're still planning on heading outside, it's going to be the heavy rain, possibly some hail. So just really be weather aware. It's really all because of a trough that's moved into the area. Also that sea breeze, our afternoon sea breeze really collided with that energy, and that's why we're seeing those storms fire off. Let's talk about tonight. 75 degrees for your low temperatures. Once again, evening storms will eventually dry out overnight. 94 tomorrow. Very, very, very toasty for the end of the work week here. Our weather impact scale, let's talk about it. As you can see, by Friday, really drying out here, but the heat, it's going to really kick up throughout the end of the work week, especially into the weekend here. Heat indices right around 100 to 105, so some intense heat for the weekend. We'll talk about that full 7-day forecast coming up at 6 p.m.